QB domino will fall next. It's Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin, presented by Progressive Insurance. All of our guests on the Goodyear hotline. The first two, of course, to fall were Jared Goff and Matt Stafford for each other. The former number one overall picks swapped for one another, and a ton of draft picks going back the other way. So who's next? 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. Key J and Z on Twitter. It's time for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. A little straight talk here on Matt Stafford before we get to what could be a ransom. I mean, if you think they got a lot for Stafford, think about this. Stafford is going to turn 33. It's an early birthday present. He's going to turn 33 on February 7th. He's at $43 million for the next 2 years, which frankly is extremely reasonable by NFL standards. The oft-injured Stafford in 2020, believe it or not, very quietly, actually played all 16 games. So we will see what it means for the Rams. What does it mean for the Texans? Because as you know, you swap number one overall picks, but the number one offseason target is still waiting out there for somebody. That, of course, is Deshaun Watson. John McClain of the Houston Chronicle was on Sunday morning on ESPN Radio and essentially said whatever happened over the weekend doesn't mean anything going forward regarding you-know-who.
First of all, it's got nothing to do with anything with Deshaun Watson. That trade be chicken feed compared to what the Texans would ask for Watson. They're adamant that they will not trade him. General Manager Nick Caserio said they have zero interest Friday at David Culley's introductory Zoom conference call with the media. And that's the way it is. Watson responded by scrubbing Texans from all his social media platforms. So he's digging in, they're digging in. But the bottom line is, why would you want to force a player to lose millions and millions of dollars by holding out instead of getting a king's ransom?
Seems like a fair question, Key.
Yeah, it's going to always, the next guy is going to always get more. When somebody goes before you, the next guy is going to, that is a certain level. In contract situations, it happens all the time. And I can see the same thing with Deshaun. Instead of 2 number ones, there's 3 number ones. And instead of a 3rd round pick, maybe there's 3 1s and a 2 and a quarterback back. So that increases what that value is. And if somebody decides we're going to give up 4 number ones NBA-like, I know it's like, but what happens with those ones is if I'm giving you 4 1s, Zubin, that's because I know my team is going to be great, and those ones are going to be so far at the bottom that they might as well be 2nd-round picks for us.
28, 29.
Yeah. So when you start to get into that 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, and then now all of a sudden you might as well look at the 2nd round, because a guy who's drafted at that low in the 1st round, he might as well be a 2nd rounder. I mean, it's the same sort of number. When you get top 50 picks, they're pretty much the same, value. And so I think that is how teams would look. And as Mike Tannenbaum joins us in about 20 minutes, we can certainly ask him about that, how you look at that when you go late 1st round into the 2nd round. Where's that value at? I don't know if the Texans can hold on to Deshaun, because it seems like clearly to me, especially when I played, Madden with him the other night, and it felt like Deshaun certainly was going to not be a Texan moving forward, just in small conversation, Jay.
Your Madden game was horrible, kid.
Hey, man.
I saw what you did. Why did you trick the game? What's going on with your Madden skills? I don't want to get on a tangent, but it was one of the worst plays I've ever seen.
Hey, man, we'll talk
Madden.
about that at some point in time before the show is over with today. Move along.
I will move along. Curious to hear Mike Tannenbaum break that down, but I like what Nick Caserio has done here, and by saying I have zero interest in trading Deshaun Watson. This is a game of poker, and if the bar has been set by watching what we just saw with Jared Goff, not saying that you are going to get more, but the chances are that you're going to hold on to your hand. This is a game of poker. You hold on to your hand, you keep letting the cards flip over, and you sit there and say, okay, I know what hand I have. Who else wants to come to the table? If I saw the Rams get fleeced the way they did by Detroit for that asset, I'm going to sit there and say, I'm going to make sure I get as much as I ask for, and it's deserving, because I can wait until the last second. Now, granted, they're in a position of strength, and I don't think they should move from that position at all.
And I think in terms of Deshaun, Zubin, what he has to do is he has to take care of himself, though, right? And what I mean by that is he has to continue to train at a high level. Don't all of a sudden become complacent.
James Harden?
No, he won't do that.
Put on
But I mean,
25
just
pounds.
not focused in on your craft, and then all of a sudden, this thing gets pushed out until training camp or something wild like that, and then all of a sudden you're not ready to go when the time calls. And he also, from a mental standpoint, has to stand strong. He cannot crumble under the peer pressure of the media, because this is a cycle. I've been there. I've seen it. Okay? Everybody's, Deshaun. Woo! Get out of there. You're crazy. Deshaun. They don't know what they're doing. In about 2.5, 3 months, that thing will start to turn on Deshaun. And all the little Sports Center anchors and all the little people will start to say, Deshaun Watson's a problem. This guy, and he cannot crumble under that. He has to stay firm in his decision. He cannot all of a sudden cave, because people are going to say, well, Deshaun is a great guy, but this is hurting him. His agent is really hurting him. Don't listen to that. Just keep training and stay strong. Be committed to it if you're going to do it. You got to be committed to it. And when I say committed to it and going to do it, I mean, if you're going to stand firm and you want out, put your house up for sale. Let's start going. Let's do it.
So will Watson?
Zubin, don't let him call you little now. Don't let him call the Sports Center people little now.
No,
Don't let him
like
do that.
that.
And then use
I'm
the Mike
just saying-
Tannenbaum voice. Don't let him do that.
I'm
Zubin.
just saying that the news people, man, they start, how these cycles go.
I hear what you're talking about.
We're all in this corner today, but in about 2.5 months, if the deal isn't done or something, they'll turn the tide on you in a heartbeat. I've lived it, man. I've lived it. I've watched it for many years.
Watching on TV, the only thing I saw yesterday was bread flying off the shelves. That's what you have to see when the snow is coming, but we'll wait to see what happens with Watson. Okay, on Wednesday, we'll be fine. But until Wednesday, batten down the hatches. So the question is, which quarterback domino will fall next? Will it be Watson? Will it be somebody else? 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. Last word here for the three quarterbacks, the two Delt and Watson. The reality is Watson's in a special case because he's your long-term answer no matter what. If it doesn't work out with Matt Stafford and the Rams, look, it's just a 2-year deal. They can be done. And for Jared Goff, they could flip him easily. 2 years are really left. They can draft the last top 10 pick.
Did you hear what you just said, though?
What's that?
You heard just because you said it. You said 2 years. Think about all the Rams gave up for 2 years.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I'm sure he's going to get a long-term extension.
Right.
But the mere thought of just 2 years for all that ransom for 2 years.
Right.
That's crazy.
Could get out from under it. They could get out from under Goff after 2 years and draft somebody in the top 10 even this year.
Yeah, but Detroit wins in that situation where the Rams is all in for the next 2 years. And if it doesn't go the way that it's supposed to go, you just gave away 2 first-round picks, a third-round pick, and it's just a lot.
The Lions' new leadership got 6-year deals for a reason. On the way, is this Super Bowl actually more important to Mahomes rather than Brady? Even though Super Bowl 55 is being played. That's after Jay has this from DraftKings.